And oddly enough, key point 8 led to this book, the 30 days. So this is 1 hour to wealth. This is the 30-day project. Key point 8, daily dedication and consistency. I get up, phone's going off, and I'm just making sure I got a couple of things going here. And I'm trying to make sure it's my wife explaining some stuff to me. But I'm still going to keep going instead of editing this video. Key point 8, daily dedication and consistency. I no longer work a salaried job. This is incredible to say. I wrote this in 2011. I started writing this. I haven't worked a salaried job, even though I went bankrupt. Not kidding you. I made $3 million from 2012 to 2015, and I lost like $500,000 in 1 year. I think it's good to talk about that and bring it up. I mean, it's not sexy. It's honest, and the idea that I'm reading this in this book, and I'm reading this, and it says I no longer work a salary job. To actually still be an entrepreneur now is wild. It's wild. I took the plunge of becoming an entrepreneur, but I know very well that most people will not take a step like I did and give up a salary for the uncertainty of entrepreneurship. I honestly don't recommend it. Unless you have like a straight up hustler's mentality and you're ready to put the work in. I've made the decision to earn enough money from these vision boards and stuff that I created. I made a decision. And because I made a decision to do so, my mind was moving in that direction with the positive energy that I created. And things were working very well. But what you gotta understand, and I hate pausing so much, is entrepreneurship, it's not a salary position, man. It doesn't come with set hours. If you think you're going to be able to vacation when you want to and do all of these different things, if you don't make enough money, you're never going on a vacation. If you don't put the time in, you're never going to keep the connections that help you to profit. You have to sit down and put the work in, man. And it's not easy at all. At all. To be honest, it's easier to work full time and become an entrepreneur than it is to only work on your projects. Why am I saying this? Because it sounds completely antithetical to what I'm trying to say about starting a business, and that is that you have to dive into it. It's easier to do it when you got a gig, man. You watch Shark Tank and stuff like that, and like most people, they'll say that working full time does not lend itself to developing a 1 hour to wealth plan. And I say to that, that's bull. When you have a job, your work hours are defined. 1 second. All right, so like I was saying, see, I changed clothes. I had to stop what I was doing a couple of days ago while I was reading this and take care of some business, and then I had to jump back on and get started again. When you have a job, your work hours are defined. You already know the schedule that you need to work around. For instance, if you start an online business, you can make it clear on your listings that you only ship on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Or you can list that all bids, if you're on eBay, will end on Saturdays and items will be shipped every Monday. In other words, you can define your schedule, right? Having a job gives you definite time allotments. Entrepreneurship does not. Having a job also ensures that you don't have to consistently check up on your business progress every few hours, which when you have the security of a paycheck, you can allow the company to grow in a more natural manner. There are some people who can listen to what I'm saying and they'll say, I work 12 hours per day. I don't have the energy to start a business. And you know what I'll say to that person? You're right. You don't. Don't even listen to what I'm talking about. Give the link to somebody else and let them listen to what I'm saying because you don't want to do this anyway. Yeah, most people who are starting a business are struggling. They work 12 hours. You're just going to have to dig in and do the work that it requires to begin doing what it is that you want to do. If you want to earn extra income, you can't be the person that says, I'm working 12 hours. How am I going to do that? I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. You have to say that you are willing to do it. If you're saying that you're too tired and that you don't have enough time, you're already defeated. You're already defeated. You're done. Here's my schedule. In 2005, right, I launched Center Court Basketball CCB Sports Network. So in 2005, from 2005 to 2008, this is my schedule. I was a full-time college professor. I taught 2 adjunct courses at another college. After I finished my courses, I had an email list that I had to send out to my list of college coaches that were subscribing to my basketball website. I did that weekly. Now, add on top of that, I covered Southwest Tennessee Community College basketball, Northwest Mississippi Community College basketball, which meant on Tuesday night, I would drive an hour down to Senatobia, Mississippi to watch Northwest basketball games. I would return to the house, dump the video, edit it, write the article for the game, and then on Saturdays, I would do the same thing for Southwest Tennessee College. And then on Friday nights, I would cover basketball games for high schools in Tennessee, Mississippi, or in Arkansas. I would shoot video, and I'd write the article for those games as well. Initially, at that time, we only had a son. So my wife and I were able to work around the schedule, and we still had trips, time for trips to the zoo and to the Children's Museum. But in 2007, when our daughter was born, I continued doing what I was doing, but I also started hosting camps, basketball camps, big basketball camps. This meant that as a family, we added another adorable person to family time, and I increased my amount of traveling because the camp went from a Memphis-based camp to a regional camp. And I even drove down from Memphis to Louisiana, took video from players that were as far away as Baltimore, Texas, Kentucky. And then I invited those campers, those players, right, to the camps where I sat and recorded after I organized the events, these basketball games for 3 days straight. I would then edit the video and create individual web pages for each participant in the camp. After that, I would continue sending emails to coaches, and then I'd stay in contact with every player that came into the camp by email, and I cover their games during the high school season and college seasons for some of those who were playing junior college. I did all of that for Center Court Basketball while running my shoe division of a company that outfitted the International Basketball League, placed uniforms on 9 different college teams. I worked with Barbito Garcia on getting coverage of the brand on Madison Square Garden TV, outfitted the Puerto Rican Legends basketball team, and I was still running cbpublish.com, CBP, which I'm getting ready to let go. But at that time, I was still running CB Publish. And I had signed a writer named Toby Ingram, a retired colonel who had written a book titled The History of the Black Soldier. Now, I gave you this big list. If you listen through all of that and you're hearing what I'm saying, I gave you this big list. So why am I telling you this? Because when you say you're busy, that's just another way of saying, I don't believe in myself and I'm afraid. Launching the business is fun. It's a lot of work. But it's fun, man. It's rewarding. All the work I did at times didn't seem like work at all. I love hoops. I love sneakers. I love both of those things just as much as I love education and publishing books and writing books. These are all of my passions. I created my business around my passions. Now, my ultimate passion is my family. And through all of that, I never failed to give them my time. Now, I've slowed down considerably, but I still wake up 6:30, or so, look at my notes, and then I'll write about the WNBA. If you go to the website right now, you can type in WNBA. I'll write about some NBA games. I still write basketball, even though now I focus primarily on the sneaker industry, on Arch. CCB is gone. It's in the past. I actually turned it over to Chuck Lawson, who runs 901prepscoop.com, and he's doing a fantastic job and has been doing it for 10 years. I just updated that website, and it looks great. But even as I transitioned into sneakers, I was still writing an NBA blog 7 days a week. I still did that. I was updating, at the time that I wrote this, I was updating cbpublish.com at least twice a week. At that time, I was working on a novel or a nonfiction for at least an hour a day. Where do I get all of this time from? I get into bed at midnight and I wake up at dawn. I used to run at least a mile every day. I don't now. I work out and, do weights and conditioning and things like that still. And at that time, I was still designing shoes. And then I would shop for shoes. I'd update the websites. And I started handling my consulting job. So 2005 to 2008 was center court basketball. 2009, I started Arch, and I started focusing more on that and on the e-commerce side of things. And I was updating the websites, and I was handling these consulting jobs, and I did all of these things with the same passion that I did for my family and kicking it with my son and my daughter, my wife. It took daily dedication and consistency. Was it hard? To be honest, it was hard. But it was easy because I was doing what I loved. Did what I liked. I did what I wanted to. I transitioned that into a full-time life as an entrepreneur. And I'm still there. And I work constantly. But it's my passion. I love it. In some instances, people will tell you, you do what is going to make you money. And I say be very careful with that. If you're going to be dedicated daily, there better be something that burns inside of you that loves. I love basketball. I love my family. I love sneakers. I love writing. I love business. I love all of these different things, and I'm okay with spending the time doing those things. And it doesn't feel tedious to me. Sometimes it does. When I have to pack and ship a lot of sneakers, it feels tedious. So I can't lie about that. But I don't mind being dedicated to this consistently, daily. And you have to get to that point as well.